Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Wrap. And as you know from our last show, we had a very special movie edition. Well, that tradition is going to continue right here because Michael Wigdor and Frank Mandosa are going to be talking about two different movies apiece. And for the sake of time, rather than listening to me ramble on, I'm going to turn it over to Mike and to Frank. And what are we going to be talking about today, guys?
Okay, well, we're going to go into the first movie. We're going to talk about The Replacements, which is a great, funny movie about football, sort of like Major League of Football. It's a movie where Gene Hackman, who plays the coach, actually recruits some misfits to replace after there's a strike in the national.
So that's why they were talking to us.
Yeah, we're not part of the
Looking for the misfits,
so,
so
no,
okay.
No, they didn't include us. We didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
So these are replacements, and let's see this trailer, and then we'll talk about who they might be.
Shane Falco had given up his dream of playing for the pros.
Hey, Falco, you're not even a has-been. You're a never was.
Thanks, guys.
Until fate...
The players' strike became official at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
...handed him the ball.
We're going to use replacement players. I'm talking about a team of poor nobodies.
We're going to take those people and try to put together a winning team.
Why me?
Could be part of something. If nothing else, they should be fun to watch.
Oh! The drinks are on the outside.
Now he must lead a team of amateurs.
There's some who will say that you're not real players, that this isn't a real team.
And find what it takes...
You know, you're the first player I can remember who seems to care more about his teammates than he does himself.
...to win.
You just have to find a way to lead your team, earn their respect.
Warner Brothers presents...
We got a game to play.
We play the world champions.
Keanu Reeves...
I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our stuff.
...and Gene Hackman...
You can do this now. Come on. Come on.
...in a comedy for everyone who wasn't good enough.
Now that is a hit.
...to get in the game.
As of today, you're all professional football players. Whoa! Get me the ball. Are you going to get me the ball? I hope he doesn't kill somebody.
The Replacements.
You'll never be more than a replacement player.
Yeah, I can live with that.
This is about a team that are a bunch of players. They get a chance to play the game they love and actually get paid for it. And what happens is it's a team of misfits led by Shane Falco, who's Keanu Reeves in the movie. And Gene Hackman was the former coach until, until there was a bit of strike. And then the coach leaves as well as the players because they're not getting paid, and it's all of a salary dispute. So he comes in and he recruits players or people that he think can play the game. He does it his way, and one of the guys he recruits Shane Falco, who's Keanu Reeves in this movie, his claim to fame, he was an all-star quarterback at Ohio State, but in the most important game he choked. So what happens is he has a chance for redemption in this. But they also have Jon Favreau, who plays a linebacker, and he's a soft-spoken guy except when he's upset. And then he goes berserk, they say. And he's the guy that when he sees red, he also goes nuts. So he's the defensive linebacker. He's a linebacker on the team. And then they have another guy who is Orlando Jones, who is famous for being able to outrun anyone, but he can't catch anything. So it's a pretty funny movie, and it's about whether or not they do make it to the playoffs, and what happens at the end of it ends well. Shane Falco comes to the rescue of the team, and they do make it to the playoffs. But at the end, they're not getting any endorsements, and they're not getting any fame or notoriety for it. They all have to leave. So they just get their 5 minutes of fame, I would say.
Now, just quickly, was this based on the football strike where they actually had to do that? It was based on that football strike?
It actually was based on a strike that happened in 1987
with
the Washington Redskins, where they actually did have replacement teams. It's not based on that story, but it's taken from that.
Right.
And
They
did win when they had replacement players. That was the year that they won the Super Bowl, actually, the Redskins.
Cool.
So it's a good movie.
What do we have next? What do you got for us, Frank?
A 1996 film called Jerry Maguire, starring Tom Cruise.
Great movie.
So instead of show me the money, it's show me the movie.
You ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's walk. My name is Jerry Maguire. I'm a sports agent. You could say I'm at the top of my game, but something just isn't right.
Jerry Maguire!
What can I do for you, Rod?
Show me the money.
You know what I'm saying, Jerry? Show me the money! Money!
Can you sign my card?
Sorry, little fella. I can't sign this brand new card. Only Pro Jam Blue Dot cards.
And lately, it's getting worse.
Came here to let you go.
Pardon me?
I came here to fire you, Jerry.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out! Who's coming with me? Who is coming with me?
I will go with you.
Dorothy Boyd, thank you. We're gonna be okay, because I am gonna take my one client, and we're gonna go all the way. Help me, Rod. Help me help you. Help me help you.
You are hanging on by a very thin thread. And I dig that about you.
You wanna go out to dinner?
Some dudes might have the coin, but they'll never have the quan.
Quan?
It means love.
Wish me luck. Whoa, hey.
That is the first time I have ever seen him kiss a man just like a dad.
Don't cry at the beginning of a date. Yeah, just cry at the end like I do.
She'll let you in her house if you come knocking late at night. She'll let you in her mouth if the words you say are right. If you pay the price, she'll let you deep inside. But there's a secret garden she has.
My whole life I've been trying to talk. I mean, really talk. But no one wants to listen to me. You know that feeling?
This was not based on a true story, but it was inspired by Lee Steinberg, he was a sports agent, and he had represented a record 8 times the NFL's #1 draft pick.
Wow.
He was successful. He's a really long hot streak because of his charisma and his charm, and that was the basis for the film. Since the film came out, he hit some hard times. His kids were both diagnosed with incurable eye diseases. His father died. He and his wife divorced. He sank into alcoholism, but he's pulled himself out of it, and he's looking to get himself back into the game. He's in his mid-60s now. The film was originally supposed to star Tom Hanks, but Cameron Crowe, it took him 4 years to finish the screenplay. So by the time the screenplay was done, Tom Hanks had pretty much aged out of the role.
Wow.
Not only that, but he also, at that point, was Forrest Gump, and he was on to different. He was on a different career path.
Yeah.
But Jerry Maguire is worth a look. Of course, it's become sort of a
show me the money.
The caricature of itself with all of the lines. Show me the money, and you had me at hello. So it's become one of those quotable
help me
films.
help you.
Help me help you.
A lot of good cliches and things came out of that.
Statement. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie.
It was.
But you know, show me the money. I think is like the biggest one. Everybody seems to say that about everything. You know,
even now 20 years later.
Show me the money.
Didn't Cuba Gooding win an award for that?
Cuba Gooding Jr. won the Academy Award for this, and Tom Cruise was nominated.
Yeah.
And the film itself as well.
It was a great movie. Yeah.
Well, we have another one here. You know, we have another Wayback Machine going back into the 70s and the 80s, and
that's right.
Movie called Heaven Can Wait.
Yes.
And it was one of the feel-good movies at the time, starring the then handsome playboy Warren Beatty, and there's a great cast of characters, and it's almost difficult to explain because as you go through the movie, Warren Beatty plays 3 different characters. He plays himself, where he is a football player, and with the American Football League, and he gets tragically killed in a motorcycle crash, and then he finds out that they were out plotting to kill him anyway, and then he goes up to heaven and says, hey, what am I doing up here? I'm too young, too handsome, to die. My clock isn't up yet. I'm not supposed to be dead. So this mysterious guy, up in heaven looks at it and says, you know what? You're right. you know, you've got another, 40 years to live.
Yeah.
But they've already cremated his body. So they said, well, how can we send him back to Earth with, there's no body to put him in. So he starts changing bodies. They put him into another body, and then the other person was supposed to have been dead, now is alive, and it gets a little bit convoluted, but it's basically, the feel-good story. It's a love story. It's a love-hate story.
Yeah.
There's some football thrown in there. There's a lot of pulling at the heartstrings where, when you realize who's dead, who's not dead, then you get the, relationship between him and the girlfriend because she doesn't know who he is. And then, she finds out, is he here? I thought you were dead. Then he comes back as somebody else, and then he's dead. And then he comes back as somebody else. And not until the end, where the denouement of the movie comes in, where everything kind of falls together, where he fits into the whole scheme of things. So check it out. Good old movie to watch.
Mr. Pendleton, you know where you are, don't you? I want you to look at me and listen very carefully to what I'm saying. Yeah? This is not a dream.
You trying to tell me I'm not supposed to be here?
But you are here.
Well, you guys made a mistake.
There is no mistake.
Well, anybody can make a mistake.
I want to check out on Joseph Pendleton. When is he due to arrive?
Pendleton Joseph, due to arrive 10:17 a.m., March 20th of the year 2025.
Hey, so he jumped the gun. Anybody could have done that. Just put me back where you found me.
Joe, we can put you into another man's body.
Are you kidding? You're gonna put me into the body of another man?
Hey, it's me. Inwardly, you haven't changed. You're still Joe Pendleton. That's what you and I see. But outwardly, you're Leo Farnsworth, and that's what everyone else will see.
Mr. Farnsworth.
That works. Of course.
What in God's name's that?
Max, I'm not Farnsworth. I'm Joe Pendleton. Farnsworth was murdered by his wife and his private secretary. This is just a body they found for me. Don't you understand? They drugged him, they stuck him in a bathtub, and then I stepped in.
Darling, listen to me. There is nothing to be frightened of. There's plenty to be worried about, but there is nothing to be frightened of.
I'm not really Leo Farnsworth.
What?
You want to know the only thing I'm afraid of? How I'd feel if I couldn't be with you.
Then there's nothing to be afraid of, is there?
I'm sorry, Mr. Pendleton. I'm afraid you won't be able to use Mr. Farnsworth's body any longer.
How can you expect me to give up Farnsworth now?
You yourself asked for a temporary arrangement.
She loves me, Mr. Jordan.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Just memorizing your face. I want to memorize everything about you, so no matter what happens, I won't forget you.
What's gonna happen?
Warren Beatty, Julie Christie, James Mason, Charles Grodin, Diane Cannon, Buck Henry, Vincent Gardenia, Jack Warden. Heaven can wait.
Didn't he take over for like a quarterback for the Rams and end up leading them to the championship or something?
He did.
Like that?
Now, I was surprised at that trailer that there really wasn't any football scenes in there, but
Yeah,
there
I know,
actually
'cause the
was a
movie has
lot of football in
Yeah.
there, and it was populated by many professional football players. Mean Joe Green was in there, like, Ray Nitschke.
Yeah.
They even have Kurt Gowdy's in there, Bryant Gumbel is in there.
okay,
So
yeah.
there is a lot of football
Yeah.
in there, and, but as you say, all the other convoluted scenes, you don't know who he is, what he is, and everybody is very confusing. But it is an enjoyable movie, you saw the cast of characters, a great cast of characters.
It is.
Very enjoyable movie. So I think take a look at it and you'll enjoy it. What's
All
next,
right.
Mikey?
That brings me to talking about Friday Night Lights, which is one of the classic movies on football. It's actually based on a book that was written in the 80s, late 80s. It's supposed to be one of the best true stories ever written about football. It's called Friday Night Lights, and it was about this team in West Texas, in Odessa, Texas, called Permian High School. And I guess this town was very economically depressed. It's a poor town. And out there, they live for football, high school football on Friday nights.
Yep.
And one of the taglines is "Hope Comes Alive," and it's a great movie because it goes into each of the players, all the characters and the players. And Billy Bob Thornton is just amazing as the coach. He plays the coach that brings them all together, and you know, they have to play for each other. The problem is, what happens in this particular movie is that their star running back, their star tailback, gets hurt in the first game of the season, and the town doesn't care. The town wants them to win because that's how they get any kind of satisfaction in their life, is by dressing up. They get there like an hour before the game, and they're just there to cheer on their team, their high school team, to victory. And so you're going to get a taste of it, and let's just see this trailer.
Gentlemen, the hopes and dreams of an entire town are riding on your shoulders. You may never matter more than you do right now. It's time.
Now, if you want to win state, you're going to have to beat a team of giants, a team of monsters over in Dallas that outweigh you about 30 pounds a man. This is real, sincere warfare. We're in the business of winning.
Should we believe the hype?
What hype?
The hype about Boobie Miles.
No, hype is something that's not for real. I'm all real.
What's it like being the quarterback? I mean, this is a big responsibility for a 17-year-old kid. Do you think you can handle it?
No, that is not acceptable.
Hope so. Your dad played at Permian. What's it like to be the son of a local legend?
Tell me why you can't hold on to the ball. Maybe this will help. Hold on to football.
Next question.
I want to be with a ball carrier. Give me just one touchdown. Just one.
Hey, son, come here. Where you going?
You want me to go in, Coach?
You don't want a helmet? My goodness gracious.
Do you want to play college ball? Do you want to get out of this town?
Think so.
Well, why aren't you doing something about it?
We gotta lighten up. You're 17. You think it's just a game. I think you're scared just like the rest of us.
I've seen you fight. I've seen you not quit. Can you give me a great effort and just a little bit more? Can we be perfect?
So let's take care of it!
One day, when you look back at this time, I dare you to beat it. I dare you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with this movie is they want these players to feel as if this is the most important thing in their life. If they accomplish this to get to the playoffs, their lives will be meaningful, you know. And because there's even a game, like they have a thing where in the movie where if he loses a game, they put a for sale sign on his house. That's how bad it is, you know, at the coach's house, because they just, you know, football is everything to this town. And the pressure's on the different players in there. Like one of the players is the son of a former star quarterback or star running back, so he has to be the great running back now, and he has to perform. And the story's about how Billy Bob Thornton gets the whole team to come together and play and go all the way to the championship game, at least, anyway. And then they may not win that game, but at least they've gotten that far. So they feel it's accomplishing, you know. But that's what high school sports is about, really, you know. They want to win, and that win at all costs. And some towns it's a hell of a lot more important than it is in others. And in that Texas town, winning was everything.
Cool.
Yeah. So
what do we got?
What do you got?
Is that me?
Well,
or
no,
is that
Frank.
you?
It's Frank. This Frank.
That's Frank. The other Frank.
Other Frank.
Let's sort of shift gears here and go into slapstick comedy territory.
I love this
1998's The Waterboy, starring Adam Sandler.
I love this movie.
He was one of a kind, the last of his breed, the world's finest. Waterboy.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Bobby Boucher was a lonely boy.
Smelled like you could use a shower, Dickie. Everybody else got friends, Mama. I just want some, too.
You don't have what they call the social skill.
My name is Bobby Boucher.
That's why you never have any friends, except for your mama.
Constantly tormented by everyone. Until one day...
Somebody hurt you, my boy?
You gotta defend yourself here, Bobby, or they're gonna ride you for the whole season.
They pushed him too far.
Stop making fun of me.
Oh, dang. He's killed, though.
Now...
Play football for this team. My mama ain't gonna let me play no football.
They're going to train him.
Is there any sport that you do watch?
Wrestling.
I want you to do to Casey what Captain Insano does to the bad guy.
And turn him loose.
Visualize all those people that have been mean to you, and then I want you to attack.
What's the matter with you, boy? You too stupid?
No. No what?
Now everyone will feel his pain.
The amazing 31-year-old freshman set a new NCAA record by sacking the quarterback 16 times.
And you are so sexy.
The Waterboy's influence now reaches far beyond college football.
From Touchstone Pictures and the director of The Wedding Singer, Adam Sandler.
There's something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
You playing the foosball behind my back?
The Waterboy.
Visualize an attack.
How you doing, boy? No.
That is lowbrow humor.
Really low.
It's really cringe-inducing, achingly awful, idiotic humor, and that's what makes it so good.
That's right.
From a certain sense. Kathy Bates nearly steals the show as his dominating, overbearing mother, the coddler, and Henry Winkler gives her a run for her money, though, as the coach. But this was the highest-grossing football movie of all time.
Really?
Until The Blind Side in 2009.
Just to show you the taste of the American people.
Yeah, really.
It is a sad testament.
That's true.
I say, holding up a mirror to America and saying, "This is you."
Wow.
Yeah.
We have another one. We have one more to go, and I'm going to keep it really short. It's kind of a dark comedy, loosely based on the Dallas Cowboy football team, back in the days when everything was wild and free. And it's basically about a football player who gets hurt, and as he is hurt, he is starting to take medications and booze to quell his pain, and that becomes an addiction, and the next thing you know, that spreads out throughout the locker room, and everybody becomes all drug heads and crazy, and that spills on off the field as well as on, that their antics off the field, their legendary stories, and it's loosely based on truth in the NFL, and the way in which drugs and everything started pervading the game. So take a look at North Dallas 40 with Nick Nolte.
BA wants me to adjust to sitting on the bench. Hell, I'll die on the bench. What's the sense of the team winning if I don't survive, huh?
You'll survive.
Really? You know what I do? I pull for the other team so we'll get behind a BA will have to put me in. That's weird. Drop it.
There's a theme that runs through all this data, Phil. It's immaturity. Your immaturity. You lack seriousness.
BA, I'm sorry if my immaturity has offended you. Now, honestly, try to change. And when you do start me, I'll make you glad you did.
North Dallas 40.
If you were moving any slower, you'd be going backwards. Very funny, Elliot. Very funny.
Yeah, I'm a very funny guy.
That's it. Catch one.
That's real devotion. You remind me of the magnificent missionaries of history. They're shooting cows.
Hey, I know. It's not your type of thing. But I happen to be more of a philosopher. I like to mingle with the little people.
Nick Nolte and Mac Davis. North Dallas 40.
Hey, some girls ever try a quarterback sandwich?
Oh, Max, that's gross.
It's not gross. That's gross.
Oh, they got the blood up now.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old story, boy meets boy.
Well, I love happy endings.
The difference between good and great is that much.
I thought he came from all those funny little pills we took.
A bag of marijuana?
Maybe you ought to take some vitamins.
Well, some extreme. Fine if I do. Little Comazine.
Well, I'm having chocolate pudding.
Breakfast for champions there. Too damn much B12.
That's what comes from not concentrating. Now that's concentration, Elliot.
Wait a minute, I'm just getting to the weird part.
The right leg!
The weird part? The weird part? Yeah, it gets weird.
Paramount Pictures presents a Frank Yablans production. North Dallas 40. Wait till you see the weird part.
I don't think there could be any more weird.
I know. As you can see, there are a lot of antics in there, but again, it's kind of a dark comedy where, you know, that really was kind of the evolution with drugs and football and living the crazy life, you know, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll off the field, and they were becoming more famous off the field than they were on there. But one interesting point was that Paul McCartney had written a theme song for this.
Oh, really?
And it was rejected and ended up showing up in a Ramones movie a couple of years later. But Paul McCartney was going to do the score on this.
The Beatles song ended up in a Ramones movie.
Yeah,
that's kind of strange.
Yeah, a little interesting twist there. But you know, we're almost out of time here, guys. You know,
yeah. So we just have enough time really to thank you for watching our show and enjoying it. And make sure to tune in.
And thank our guest here, Frank Mandosa.
Thank you for having me on again.
And Frank Walsh,
Frank
of course.
Walsh. So
and,
you know,
and Mike Wigdor.
And we have to thank our sponsor, M&G Pizza.
M&G Pizza, once again, fantastic pizzas as usual.
And Roxanne Moss,
absolutely.
she has pushed the buttons and done yeoman's work here today. So we thank Roxanne. So for Mike,
and
Frank, we will see you down the road.